Okay, let's talk about something truly mind-blowing. Imagine a building so huge, so complex, that it made the Great Pyramids look, well, kind of ordinary. This is the wild story of a wonder of the ancient world that was found and then somehow lost all over again. So you've got this guy Herodotus, right? The ancient Greek historian. He's seen it all, documented the wonders of the world, but then he gets to Egypt and he sees something that just floors him. He writes about this massive labyrinth, and his words are just staggering. He says, and I quote, "It surpasses even the pyramids." I mean, can you even imagine something grander than the pyramids? He described this insane architectural masterpiece, 3,000 rooms spread across 2 levels, one of them completely underground. But here's the kicker. For centuries, for millennia, nobody could find it. People would go looking for this legendary building, and all they'd find was nothing. Just a flat, empty field of stone chips. The legend was epic, but the reality was just dust. And that created a mystery that has puzzled people for ages. Right, so what was this place, and where in the world did it go? Well, it turns out this wasn't just some random building. It was the massive mortuary temple for a pharaoh named Amenemhat III. His first attempt at a pyramid had some, let's just say, structural issues. So he moved to a place called Hawara, built a new pyramid, and right next to it, he commissioned this absolutely unbelievable complex. The descriptions from ancient writers are just wild. They talk about 12 enormous roofed courtyards, those thousands of rooms, and a secret underground level, get this, holding the tombs of kings and even sacred crocodiles. But being that incredible made it a huge target. When the Romans came along, they basically saw it as a giant free hardware store. They stripped it for its priceless stone to use in their own projects. And if that wasn't bad enough, way later in the 13th century, someone dug a canal right through the middle of the site. Just unbelievable. So, for hundreds of years, the labyrinth was just a legend, a cool story Herodotus told. But then came the 19th century, and a new breed of explorers showed up. Basically archaeologists, who were dead set on figuring out if there was any truth to this incredible myth. And they started finding clues. In 1843, an Egyptologist named Carl Richard Lepsius figured out that, Hawara was the right spot. But he couldn't find the temple itself. The real game changer was a guy named Flinders Petrie, a huge name in archaeology. In 1889, he's digging around in what he literally called a great bed of chips, just rubble, and he uncovers something huge, a massive man-made stone plateau. Finally, this was the first real physical proof that something enormous had been there. So Petrie puts 2 and 2 together and comes up with a theory that sticks. He says, look, this giant stone slab, that's the foundation. The labyrinth was built on top of it, and then it was totally torn down and hauled away. Basically, all that was left was the basement floor. And for more than 100 years, that was the official story. Case closed. But what if the case wasn't closed? For over 100 years, that was the story everyone believed. Until, that is, a new team came along with some brand new tech and decided, you know what, let's take another look. And their whole investigation started with one massive question. What if Flinders Petrie was wrong? I mean, think about it. Those old texts specifically mentioned the labyrinth had this incredible roof made from giant single slabs of stone. So what if that plateau Petrie found wasn't the foundation at all? What if it was the roof? This brings us to 2008. A joint Belgian-Egyptian team calling themselves the Mataha Expedition shows up at Hawara. And they're not just bringing shovels and brushes. They've got high-tech geophysical equipment. Their plan was simple but brilliant. Scan the area below Petrie's stone slab and see if there was anything down there. And this technology was the real key. This georadar let them do something no one before could. Literally see underground without digging a single hole. It's kind of like sonar, but for the ground. It sends these signals down, and when the signals hit something solid, like an ancient wall, they bounce back up. The computers then take all that data and create a map, a sort of 3D blueprint of whatever's buried beneath the sand. And what they found was just wow. The results were mind-blowing. The scans showed a huge, complex grid structure deep underground. It was made of something really dense, probably granite, and it had features that looked exactly like rooms and thick walls, just like Herodotus described. So here's the bombshell. This discovery flipped Petrie's theory on its head.
His foundation was almost certainly the labyrinth's gigantic stone roof. The entire complex hadn't been destroyed at all. It was just buried, hiding in plain sight, right under their feet the whole time.
So, there you have it. Ancient mystery solved, right? This should have been front-page news all over the world, one of the biggest discoveries in 100 years. But that's where the story takes a really strange, modern turn.
Okay, so the team publishes their findings in a scientific journal, they give a public lecture, the excitement is building. The world is about to hear that the lost labyrinth has been found. And then, silence. Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, the people in charge, just shut it all down. They stopped all communication and told the team they couldn't talk about it anymore.
The official reason they gave, national security, which just raises more questions, right? The expedition leader, a guy named Louis de Cordier, got so frustrated with being silenced that he eventually just built his own website and released all the findings himself so the world could see.
Just think about that. 2008, the year one of the greatest wonders of the ancient world was found again.
And yet, here we are, all these years later, and this site is still just sitting there, completely unexcavated, no permission has ever been given to actually dig. And now, the labyrinth is facing a new threat, one that's way more dangerous than red tape. The biggest enemy right now is the environment itself. You see, the water table in the area is rising because of irrigation for local farms. And this isn't just clean water. This is salty, corrosive water seeping into the ground. It's threatening to flood the entire underground structure and literally eat away at the stone. So the labyrinth was lost once to time. This time, it could be lost forever to water. So you have this incredible situation. The lost labyrinth of Egypt, the place Herodotus himself said was grander than the pyramids, has actually been found. But it's still completely out of reach, trapped by bureaucracy and threatened by rising water. And it just leaves you with this incredible, frustrating question. What amazing secrets are just sitting down there, waiting to be rediscovered or to be washed away forever?